up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 284, and we're recording on June 3rd, 2024. We're already done with 5 months of the year, guys.
My God.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
It's been flying so far. I'm
there.
Doug, and joining me today, we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
As a quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcast platform, sub to us on YouTube, join the SojuTalk Discord, and be a part of the nation. Okay, in terms of what's going on today, after hours, non-K-pop related, Warren's made we're bringing back the Doug Fashion World Cup. I don't really care too much about fashion, but Warren vicariously cares about my fashion. So
I care about you.
Cup.
I'm a good friend. I got you,
that.
bro. I got you.
We also have in the news section, there was a ruling in the Min Heejin injunction law court thing. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to take up a good portion of the news. And then we got 4 songs this week. So let's just get into the big new releases.
Do it.
Okay, kind of a big week. Some songs we didn't cover. That Bad Villain debut, kind of intriguing. Exterior Heroes. Yes. Wavy released the Korean version of their song that they came out. Treasure, J Park featuring Nati came out. That also happened. Yes. Something I found out this week. Do you know if you watched Idol School or Girls or produced back in the day, Lee Heejin, the girl who got who was a part of, like, you remember they exposed Idol School for being like kind of shitty in terms of the behind the scenes stuff? She's the creative director for Kiss of Life. I just found that out.
Oh wow.
So cool for her.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so those are just a sampling of the songs we didn't cover this week because we have 4 songs that made the cut, that got enough votes. Yves, solo debut, Loop featuring Lil Cherry, former member of Luna, but also one of the offshoots of Luna, ARTMS, had the official debut this week as well, Virtual Angel. Hopefully none of y'all are passed out from epilepsy from the music video. We have ATEEZ, Work, and we have Kep1er, Shooting Star, which is the last release as 9. Kind of sad there, but let's start at the top. Yves solo debut, Loop featuring Lil Cherry. She is now at Paper Mill, which is a company founded by rapper Milik, right?
No, producer. He's not a rapper. Producer.
Oh,
producer Milik, whoever that man is. I'm not too familiar, but we talked about the song a little before we started recording. I know Warren and Anita really were down for this one, right?
It's 2 against 1, I guess.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
So sell me on this one. What is about this Loop song featuring Lil Cherry? What's captivating? What got the juices flowing?
It's a good song. What more do you need? You know. Okay, let's break it down. Right. It's a UK garage, a bit of deep house, a bit of Jersey in there as well. It's got a clean aesthetic. It feels maybe a little sterile, but I think that's what they're going for. To be honest with you, so I don't really hate it. It's in the best way. It has like ATEEZ club vibes to it, you know what I mean? Like just like Brooklyn
very
warehouse.
dancey, yes.
Right. You know Clubby. What I mean? Another way of saying that, as Doug explained it earlier, it's got a bit of an H&M, Zara house music vibe. Very accessible kind of dance music, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're into this kind of sound, if you're into that kind of genre, I feel like you're gonna have a good time. Yves, I think, does a really good job with the vocals here. Very smooth, very clean. Nothing to complain about. I think she does a really good job of like being rhythmic on this beat, which is very important for this kind of genre. So, yeah, overall, I don't want to take all the mic. Well, Anita, you also like the song, right?
No, yeah, I'm also someone who likes this genre. So like from the beginning, I already liked this sound for her. But I thought she sold it pretty well. I didn't have any expectations, to be honest, as far as to what sound she was going to go into.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised. I think for me, something I felt nice was a good decision was the chorus. So for me, I thought the chorus did a good job of like adding or like showcasing 2 versions where we have more of a verse heavy version, right? Where it kind of does a bit of it's not staccato, but it's like it's like staccato. A break. Yeah. It's a break in between like the vocals, the melody, and it couples really well with the choreography. I liked the choreo for this too. I thought it went really well with the sound. Yeah, like it has a very like alt feeling in a way, like the music video and the song. But then the second half of the chorus is very instrumental focused, which I think brings in that dancey vibe, that clubby vibe. which I don't mind. I did feel like if you're not into this genre, you might have your opinions and not really enjoy it because it's not like stereotypical K-pop, I would say. But I think it's still really nice, and it's not too far off that I don't think general audience would enjoy it either.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, I would say this still falls under pop music. It's just very faithful to what it was trying to recreate. Like going back to the second half of the chorus where it's like ooh, like that's all it is. It's a loop.
Yeah,
of that.
it's all that.
Right.
All right, let me start. I don't
hate that. That's what the genre's supposed to be like.
I like the ooh in the middle of the song. I don't like it as the outro. I think it ends the song on a very awkward note. Like
I agree on that.
Okay,
it was very awkward.
Abrupt.
Some of these songs, they're getting very lazy with making them under 3 minutes, and I think this is one of those examples. I do agree with you on that.
So that's one part. So first of all, I never said I hate the song. I just don't like it as a debut. Is my thesis here.
What were you thinking she would come out with?
Something a little more powerful. I think they played a little too chill for a debut. You know what I mean? I feel there's a lot of chill music right now, but it's generally by people who are pretty well established. And I get it. Yves was in Luna. People know who she is if you like Luna, but I don't think the general public would know like specifically who she is individually unless you know Luna. Yeah. That's my point here. I agree. I thought the song had a lot of fun vibes. It was cool. Do we like Lil Cherry in this? I thought it helped a lot. It was a big palate cleanser.
It was great.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was cool. I like her whatever she does. It's not whatever kind of concoction that girl brings to the table.
Somehow, if you call it mumble rap, I would call that a compliment. If that makes any sense. Like,
I could make out what she was saying.
You could?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's more just like degeneratively talking. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
How's your rap?
Yeah, she's kind of just doing that. And I was like,
man.
It kind of helps, honestly. It really
sense.
broke it up.
Yeah.
And Eve's a good dancer. We know that. So the performance was good. They actually gave her good backup dancers too. There was a lot of parts where I think that helped a lot.
It was nice.
My whole thing is just like we have a sea of kind of like chill songs right now. There's an ocean of them, right? There's a lot of these more like rhythmic songs. You're like, oh, this is like a lot of vibing songs, right? Like,
right.
Okay, that's kind of fun. Even like this ATEEZ song is more just like a hip hop chillin' song. It's a vibe song as well, right?
True.
But this is more like a pop vibe song. I just feel like when you're doing a debut and you at a new company, and I honestly thought her going to like a company with a producer like this Milik guy, my assumptions of what they were gonna do, I thought we were gonna get something more different than just like a generic pop song, honestly.
I wouldn't really say this is generic, but I know what you mean, right? This is not high energy. It's not very explosive. It's just
it's fine, right?
it's a good vibe. It's a good mood. The thing is, like, I think that's what they wanted to do. Like, I think that's what they were going for. They were going for creating a good vibe and then adding some lyrics that might mean something to her. I think a part of that is because that is trending in pop music at the moment. I think a part of that is maybe Yves wanted to do something different from like what she was doing with traditional K-pop. Because like, if you think about all the Luna releases and where those members ended up, this sticks out a lot for me, right?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Right, like, was it as alternative as I thought it would be? No, but at the same time, if I look at the other releases that's coming out of the post-Luna ventures, I'd probably say Yves and Chu have the most alternative takes.
I was gonna say Chu.
Right. So I think it's given that and given the lyrical theme, right? I think it's very clear what she wants to do with her career, where she wants to take herself, and she says the same thing in the teaser videos. They had like a documentary style like interview video as well, and like that was all really neat. But at the same time, on the other hand, if she wants to support that statement, I do feel like she should have been a little more alternative, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Lean in more.
Right, like lean heavily, because I still see this as pop music, just alt pop. Why don't we just go even like more alt pop? You know what I mean? Like, so I think that would have been really nice. But as a first statement, I don't hate it.
I see Eve as someone who's going to lead with the performance aspect. I kind of felt like she was one of the better dancers in Luna.
Really?
But there's a lot of people contemporary she's gonna be competing with for market space. Honestly,
Yeah.
in my head, like a Eunbi, like a Cheon, on a different level, higher than that is like a Chungha over there, right? Like she's competing with all these types of people, more or less, right?
Solo acts,
to establish
yeah.
a space.
The thing
I
is,
think it's gonna be tough.
the thing is, I was thinking about that because you did kind of briefly mention that before we started
Yeah.
recording, and I don't think she is. I'll be honest.
Interesting.
I think she's gonna compete with the likes of Hayes, for instance. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Well,
Because she
I feel
wants
like
to.
that's what
She's
she's
putting herself
aiming.
right. She's putting herself as an artist.
I'll disagree on the fact that she's going on all the music shows.
Hayes is going on music shows too. I don't think that's anything. I think ideally she's starting with the pop music route, but she wants to end up portraying herself as I'm a musician, I'm an artist, I write my own songs.
If she wanted to say that, she should have gave us a song that more says that. That's my only feeling though.
And I think that's where I'm a little bit lacking, because like the lyrics say that, it's just sound wise. Oh no, I mean I guess it kind of works. It's not really, it's a little alternative. It's just
it could be more. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't hate it.
No, yeah, I do not hate the song. I just feel like for a debut, you just want to, you want people to be like, oh my god, that girl from Luna debuted, and whoa, did you see the crazy shit she was doing? You know?
More impactful.
Yeah. Overall though, I think the song's tingly. I don't think it's spicy. I don't think it's bad. I think it's just aight. It's a night.
I think it's a little spicy.
Wow. Okay, that's fine.
I like it. I don't know why. I didn't have a lot of expectation, I guess. So I'm liking this.
Yeah, same. I think it's clean. I if this is not working with a lot of the K-pop fans, I get it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna ignore a song that's really good. I think it's spicy as well.
Nice.
All right, surprising. For me. Let's move on to the next one. ARTMS debut, Virtual Angel. They are from Madhouse. They had like a whole slew of pre-releases, including Air, Candy Crush, Flower Rhythm. ARTMS is basically odd-eyed circles with Heejin and Hustle included as well.
Yes.
So it's Kim Lip, Jinso, and Cherry. Previously, also still known as Odd-Eyed Circle, and then you have Heejin and Hustle, who also joined in Madhouse. So this is their group over here. You got Lucemble over there, and then you got Yves and Chu doing their own thing. That's how kind of the Luna thing
I think so. Yeah. I
ended
don't
up
think
as.
anybody else.
Off the bat, the most shocking or the most interesting thing about this entire debut is this goddamn music video that they chose to release. Right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the big talking point for a lot of people. And to be fair, this is one of the most like craziest decisions to me, that let's release this music video that could basically give not even someone who has a medical condition, a normal person, like nausea and potentially seizures, and we won't put a warning about seizures until people complain, and then we'll put them in the subtitles.
Oh,
and
is
then
that what happened? Oh man.
Yes. And then we have to release a quote unquote human eye version so that people could actually watch our music video.
I mean, okay. I will say I saw the music video before the human eye version was released, right? Because they took them a day or two to even get that out. And I don't think they had the warning yet. I don't know. I feel like I get what they were trying to do, like trying to make it very
like multiple storylines going on at the same time. Yeah.
It's very video art-y,
Yeah. Very experimental, very conceptual, because I guess what they're trying to allude is that the original music video is not human eye. Like I guessed that it might have been like an angel thing. I don't know. I don't quite know the lore.
They realized they goofed up, so they had to release a normal music video.
I'm glad they did, though, honestly.
I mean,
because they could have just ignored it, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that the human eye version was a planned thing, because that dropped on June 1st. The original music video dropped May 31st. If they re-edited the whole thing in the period of 24 hours after they realized they fucked up, rest in peace, my dear editors, my guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it was planned all along.
It must have, yeah.
So this comes off to me as like a bit of a way to get people to talk. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You know,
It honestly
get the noise going. You know.
got me a tiny bit disoriented the first time I watched. Like at a certain point,
Yeah.
I was like, holy, what is going? I was so visually stimulated that I didn't even know what the song sounded like till I listened to like an instrumental version of the song without a music video. And I was like,
fair.
oh, this song's kind of pleasant, right?
Sounds good.
But before then, I was like, what the F am I watching is what I felt. Now let's talk about the song itself, right? Let's get past the ridiculous decision of Madhouse and Jaden Jung to release this first music video. Let's talk about what they have here with ARTMS. They got Odd Eye Circle, which probably was the most popular unit when Luna was active as Luna. Got a lot of the other popular people in this group. This seems like a big project for them, right? They did a whole bunch of pre-releases. Now we have this Virtual Angel track. I feel like they released too many pre-releases before we got here. We're kind of saturated the field. But at the same time, what they gave us was very like ethereal, kind of nice. The vocals were good. Felt like it felt like more of like an end of summer, like what is it called? Sunset track, more or less. It was the vibes I was getting.
Oh.
End of the summer.
Okay.
I found it nice. It was good. The vocal performance was great.
Yeah, no, I think for me, it's interesting that we compared Yves to alt pop, right? Because this also felt a little in that realm. Maybe not as alt, but not typical. Because I think maybe some of the imagery and some of the sound choices, like the genre, was reminding me of like old Grimes, if people are familiar with her. Back in like Flesh Without Blood type sound. So it's old stuff, right? Old alt pop maybe. And I think it had a lot to do with the visuals, because I think something about the imagery, like the angel wings, was kind of making me think to that. But I thought it was really cool. I didn't expect them to go this way based on the pre-releases, because I don't think any of those had this vibe. But it was nice. I want to shout out Hasul's vocals, because I think hers stood out towards the end of the track. She comes in after the bridge. I think it might have been the last chorus. And I don't know, I really liked her delivery for her lines. And paired with the lyrics, I thought it was really nice. I don't know, I really liked the hook they had in the English hook they had in the chorus. I thought it made sense. I think it went well with the song, the concept they had going on. It's a little out there, but it's memorable. The music video, even although hard to actually see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Before we go back to the music video, let's talk about the song, right? Because like, in a larger sense, I do see this being grouped with the Kep1er song and the Toy song we did a couple weeks back, and like it's drum and bass. It's kind of Eurobeat. It's very melodic, and that's my takeaway with it. The melody.
Wave.
No, it's not synthwave. The melody is so good. You know what I mean? The top line
It's
itself.
nice.
Yeah, it's like the chorus. The whole chorus is very, very memorable. The do 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 do, and like all of this feels pretty well paced. Nothing feels rushed. Like it takes its time at the intro. It starts rushing itself near the end, but I think that's all the K-pop songs these days. And like if I'm looking at the press release, it says, using the Y2K aesthetic and the Eurodance mood, using that as a foundation, they stack together a holy vibe that you might see in a cathedral, and create a dance song that you may not have heard before.
Whoa, that's a lot of claims.
It's a lot of marketing mumbo jumbo buzzwords, but I kind of get it. Cause like it is,
I kind of get it. Yeah.
it is kind of ethereal. Like if I think about the song title, the theme, as well as the sound, it all kind of comes together. Like even the music video. Let's go back to the music video, right? Cause having been able to pay attention to it using the fucking human eye version, now I'm like, okay, this fits as well. It's got a very Y2K vibe. It's got that like It's all,
yeah, it reminds me of a church, because I was about to have a funeral for myself after I died watching this music video.
Oh, rip.
Okay, well, if you see the human eye
That's in chat.
version, Doug.
I refuse. I'm gonna watch it in its original form as Jaden wanted me to.
Jaden Jung's original intention as an artist.
Yes, he's a coward for releasing the human eye version. He needs to stick to his guns and say, "F you guys, this is what it is."
Look, the little shots we did get, I thought it was great. I was not able to fully de-interpret the entire plot of the thing. But my takeaway is it feels like they're making a take on the parasocial relationship between K-pop idols, the people you see online, and then yourself, and whether that comes off as genuine or not, I'll leave that up to you. But I do think it is commendable. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of difficult for K-pop to be very very meta about that, given the nature of the genre, the way fans support artists and whatnot. So I do think it's a nice take. I liked it visually, other than the fucking cuts. Yeah.
It also feels like they're kind of throwing up some middle fingers at BBC too, I thought.
Oh, where?
The lyrics are like, "We get strength in darkness. This is Eden." Like, they were saying things like that in some of the lyrics towards the end.
Oh, okay.
Where they're kind of saying like, "We were kind of in the dark place and kind of in hell at one point, and we've reached Eden, which means we're re-debuting. Like we're reincarnated and stuff, right?" That's what it felt like to me. It felt more like it was kind of playing into the storyline of some of these Luna kids, right? Which completely makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's what's good about it,
Or it's like, when I open my eyes at last, all that I think is kind of symbolic of the stuff they've been going through, which I like. Honestly, other than the music video, I wish I had seen more. There's choreography, but it's they're doing the crazy editing. I barely see it, right? Like, you see like little jumps of it, and it's like I don't know. I just thought the decision to do this music video was wild. Like, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna guess with my tinfoil hat. I'm just guessing. Don't sue me. I'm guessing that they did the whole thing so that people talk about it and they watch the fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think it backfired incredibly. Terrible decision. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Song would have been bomb. Song would have been amazing. I think people would have loved it without all that bullshit.
I agree.
So, what I'll say is spicy without the music video.
You know what?
Mild with the video.
So then,
I'm not too completely off with you, dude. I would say for me, like, high tingly without music video, like -12 out of 10 with the music video.
Yeah, I just can't watch the video more than once.
I
just watch the human eye
when I
version.
watched this for the first time, I honestly stopped at one point and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm feeling like a little vertigo right now, guys."
I read the comments before watching it. Somebody was saying like, "Oh, the editor were being paid by the frame," and I was like, "Oh, there must be a lot of scene cuts and stuff." And I was like, I was not prepared.
Another YouTube comment is, "Making the music video unwatchable because you can't look at angels for too long is so amazing."
Oh man.
Honestly, it could actually be the lore, the purpose. I don't think it's too far off.
As someone who loves lore and like storylines and plots and music, if none of it fucking comes across, it's meaningless and useless. It needs to be readable and watchable and viewable and listenable and all that,
Anita's also right. That hostile part towards the end, she ate, dude. It was amazing.
It was so good.
It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah, the vocals are super strong. I just want to see, how about for the next thing when we come back, we just show a lot of performance aspects. We don't give everyone epilepsy, like an epileptic seizure. Let's just have a normal music video, guys. You could have all the lore you want, Jaden. I'm completely fine with the crazy shit like that you got going on with this group in Triple S. How about we connect the worlds at one point, which would also be insane.
They probably will.
They probably will.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool, And I think, like, True and Yves are kind of independent. I think you could fork them over a couple dollars and appear in the thing. Little cameo, perhaps.
That'd be cool.
Down for all of that, Okay, let's move to the next one. Anita, you like ATEEZ, right? Well, they released Work there at KQ. Last 3 songs, Crazy Form, Bouncy K Hot Chili Peppers, and we have Limitless. We now have Work, which is essentially like a vibin' hip-hop song, right? That's what we got here.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolute crazy music video. You got, like, man riding ostriches. You got guy hugging a chicken.
Chickens, roosters.
You got like a money monster at one point. Like
yeah.
You got another
Godzilla
dude just
type.
working in a random Korean restaurant, cutting peppers into people's soup, which I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I guess that's another motif we got here. How'd you feel about work, Anita?
I think the way I categorize this comeback is more in line with the more the wacky, more crazy type of vibe they had with like Crazy Form. Crazy Form was not super serious. I feel like they've had their serious, like more intense songs, and then they have their more fun, more like almost comedic aspect.
Yeah, they do have
right?
like a comedy aspect to them.
Yeah, I feel like I would categorize this as part of that, the more comedic, kind of crazy out there concept, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I hadn't seen any of the teasers or anything. So it's, I don't know, it was interesting following along, like everything that's going on in the music video. I think I focused on the music video because the song itself is I wouldn't say it's one note, but it's very like within our range that I didn't think there was too much going on. Like we said, it's kind of chill in a way. It felt a little repetitive because it does rely on that chorus melody a lot. Like even the beat doesn't change when they start doing their verses. Like it's the same chorus beat, just reused when they start going individually with their rap. There were some parts that did like go up and down. I feel like the main singer Jongho does go higher for some of the delivery, which kind of stood out because for everybody else it's in that same tone, like a lower tone. But for the most part, I thought it was pretty like kind of one note. So then I feel like the focus was on the visuals, which are kind of crazy.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm okay with it being kind of one note. You know, y'all liked the XG track from last week, or was it the week before that? 2 weeks ago?
The week before.
2 weeks ago. I mean, this is in the same realm. You know, it's a trap beat. It's got a nice clarinet sample loop. You know, like
Okay, well, I was pissed that there was a clarinet sound, but this man was playing a flute in the music video.
He was
What's
playing
going on here?
flute.
How else?
How else we
are you
can't
gonna
find a clarinet in America. We can't find one.
But how are you gonna play it while you're stuck in the ground? You gotta look down while you play. You can't do that while you're stuck in the ground. You know, like.
They should have had the chicken holding it for him or something, dude.
Oh yeah, commit.
Oh, also
to
in
the
the music video, in
craziness.
the info, it says the safety of all staff, human and animal, were ensured on set via guidance of experts. So the chicken's
Some of it
fine,
was
guys.
CGI, wasn't
The
it?
chicken is
Some of it
fine.
was CGI too, but there were other animals as well.
The
so,
ostrich is also fine.
yes.
Yeah, I mean,
The money monster is still throwing money everywhere.
Good.
and so yeah, going back to the song, I don't think it's really trying to do the crazy explosive ATEEZ thing that they're known for. I think they're doing
No.
a lot to kind of expand their kind of palette of sounds, if you will. You know, they're definitely venturing beyond what they typically do. And to me, this works really well because, like, if I think about what I have as an issue with a lot of the ATEEZ songs I've heard in the past, a lot of it comes off as too much. It's too much going on. The rap is not sounding good because they're trying to put in too many syllables into a set amount of rhythms, you know, like a set amount of beats. You know, like there's always too much going on. And I feel like now that they've taken this down 1, 2, 3 notches, the rap sounds a lot better. The vocal has a lot of room to kind of, you know, play with the beat. You know, they just sometimes, you know, they'll, you know, whisper, sometimes they'll go up and down, sometimes it'll be a verse, sometimes it'll be a chorus, you know. The rap works really well. It's not overly aggressive, which is very appropriate for this kind of mood and beat and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and I think they executed it really well. My only caveat there then would be kind of going back to what you guys were saying. Does this line up with the expectations of what ATEEZ fans have? Because, like, if I'm on ATEEZ, right? ATEEZ? I'm not sure if this is the kind of shit that I would bop to. Maybe it is.
I think they're gonna bop to this, man.
Then
Oh
we're good.
no, I think
What's
I think it will do well because I think there's a well-established fan base now. Whereas they can afford to switch up some of their sound. I found though that they've kind of leaned between those two camps that I mentioned, like the more comedic, not super serious vibe, and then the more like really intense, high energy songs. I tend to prefer the latter, the more high energy, more intense songs. Yeah. I think I tend to enjoy those songs a little bit more. For the performance aspect too. I was watching the live stages for this for work, and it's fun. It fits the song, yeah, but it's not like that super intense choreography, like the very like high level energy performance that I typically enjoy from them. So I feel like if you like this side of ATEEZ, you will enjoy it. Also, as a Spanish speaker, there's a line in this song that
Ganso Kep1er huevos de oro.
Did you like it?
Do you know the translation of that?
Nope.
Goose that laid the golden egg.
Right. There's no geese. They're all chickens.
You're right.
Which I mean, like, okay, we're alluding to a fairy tale, right? The golden egg goose. But like they got chickens, they got roosters, and I kind of get it because they're making it fit to this more like Mexican Hispanic / Chicano
like
culture.
There's a Chicano culture thing going on here. It feels like ATEEZ, you should drop the song right before you do a tour of like Mexico and South America.
Oh yeah, this will hit.
This would hit so hard down there. People will be bumping.
Also, they included that kind of rhythm or like alluding to like that type of music at the end of the song, and like
there's a mariachi band, there's lowriders, all these type of iconic things.
Yeah. Like I get it. Like we don't have typically geese in Mexico, so that's why you got chickens. But that line, it bothered me a little because I was like, there's no geese. But we got the golden eggs, I guess.
There was like an oil field. This feels like Southern Texas to me, this vibe.
Oh yeah.
This is the vibe we're getting. It's Southern Texas.
I can see that.
I was thinking New Mexico.
Or
oil field. It's an oil field.
That kind of area. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was fun. It's fun for the summer. If you're an ATEEZ fan, I'm sure you bump into this. But in general, though, I could see all the not the complaints, but the worries someone like Warren could have about the song. Like, are we producing what ATEEZ should be producing at this point, right? Things like that.
Fuck, I said it's great. Why are you putting me in there? What the fuck? I said I like what they're doing.
You're the one who brought up the discussion about expectations, you know? Are they meeting expectations? I don't know. I thought this was fun. I like it. I'll go listen to it.
I think it makes sense for that side that they are catering to. The crazy form, the bouncy Chili Pepper side.
Without having to split their discography into fun or serious, I think this does a nice job of doing a sound that they really haven't done before, which is like taking it chill, taking it easy.
Yeah.
Trap, but not over the top. You know what I mean? Which makes sense for their the point in their careers now. They don't need to try that hard. They're big. They are gonna
be bumping this track in some places with a lot of Hispanic folks at. Oakland, LA, Phoenix, Arlington. This song is gonna be bumping down there for sure. People gonna be having a great time. I would say this is a tingly. It's a fun song. Not the best song in the world. Tingly song.
I say it's a tingly as well.
Finally, let's move to the last song. We have Kep1er, Shooting Star. They are from Swing/Wake One. You know them as the girls who won Girls Planet 999. Their last 3 songs: Galileo, Giddy, We Fresh. I'm gonna say it. This is Kep1er's best song. It just is, guys. Okay. It's really good. They finally they figured out everything. They got the space theming, which they're good at. This song is kind of like Twice I Got You, is what it reminded me of the most.
I thought that too.
Yes.
I thought
that was the main vibe. It's that sentimental type of vibe with a lot of interesting twists though throughout. They got that like space. Kind of felt like if Uju Sonyo was pumping at full speed, this is the type of song they would be releasing around now. You know, kind of in this like if they were still releasing music regularly, which they should be. I don't know what's going on there, but this is good. It's kind of a shame though. This is the last song as 9 because Mashiro and Yesa are leaving to join a different group.
Yeah, but bittersweet vibe to it, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, I don't know if they already knew how things were gonna play out. It feels more like they made this song not really knowing if they were gonna continue, because it does feel like an ending, right? They reference an ending in the lyrics, and I think maybe at the time of when they were preparing this comeback, they weren't sure if it was gonna be a renewal. I don't know how far ahead they were, but it does have that like melancholic feeling.
This
I
feels,
don't know. I think they managed it well.
this feels so much like the end of their career with this track, where I'm like, I'm glad
Yeah.
that they're extending their contract, but it's like a bit of a shame that it's not. This is the end.
They got this song before they renewed. For
Right.
Sure.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, that makes sense.
100%.
It was the goodbye song.
That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like it's honestly like I'm glad they're able to extend their contract, but like if they actually ended their career with this track, that would have been a fucking banger. You know what I mean?
It would have been a banger ending.
That would have been a banger ending. Regardless, we got a nice song, and it's still like we're still saying goodbye to two folks. Apparently three folks in the music
Yeah.
video. I don't know why that's there, but it's got this nice drum. Again, it's this nice upbeat drum and bass with this nice emotional rhythm, and then it was all just fine until we get to the first half of the chorus, where immediately you get Xiaoting's voice with no instrumental. The beat breaks away, and then
good.
there's like no reverb. It's just complete, just this chorus effect on our voice that kind of sounds like Charlie XCX, and it's it tones it in. It hones it in. You know what I mean? Your attention, boom. It's just it's brought right there. You know what I mean? Like it's great.
You know what it was like? So they have like a space concept, obviously, right?
Right.
It's like those scenes in those big budget space movies where all of a sudden you hear the silence of space. You know? That's what it reminded me of.
Oh.
And it's fitting. It's
And
fitting.
it
of
fits the
space
theme, because they're building up, they're building up. Sometimes in those space movies, all of a sudden, they like get ejected from the ship or something and it's just silent.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
It's the dead of space. And then you hear the boom, 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 and then nothing, right?
Yeah.
And then you just hear Zhao Ting singing, and you're like, holy shit, this was amazing. It was amazing. Whoever just made that decision there.
I didn't even know she's this good of a vocalist. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I knew she was good.
I didn't. They should have done this, before. It was great. Like,
And then they start to build up again, right? You hear it building.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
and that
For me-
section, that pattern is so good. Where like, I'm so glad they didn't overdo it, because they could have done it again for the second verse, second chorus. They didn't. They did it for the first and the third chorus, and that was it. And I was like, that makes it so much better. You know what I mean? Because like, it just makes you wanting that much more. It's just, I'm yearning that fucking that thing. Like.
This is such a good track. This is a top 10 track of the year for me.
Wow.
Oh wow. What else?
Yeah.
What else is in your top 10?
Maybe we should make that an activity in like at the end of June.
Of the year.
Probably should. We have a
should.
lot of you should. Yeah, we should.
Half year review.
Do that. Let's do that. We'll each pick 10 songs and say these are our top 10. We'll see how much match.
You know what? I've also been thinking. We need to do update a tier list. We haven't done those in a while.
Oh my.
What
So
for
difficult.
groups?
For girl groups.
Oh shit. I'm already stressed out the fact that you mentioned that. Dude. Oh my God.
Gotta do it. It's been a minute. Like the last time we did it, New Jeans was not even on it. Like Lil Cherry was not
That's
on it.
crazy.
I was on it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but bring it back to Kep1er. I if I think about their career, I don't like some of their songs. I think I like some of their songs, but they've always had this kind of like upbeat, high energetic cuteness to it, and this is the first time they've kind of stayed away from that. And
There's a maturity.
right?
There's a maturity.
Exactly, and I really do appreciate that, because like, it's a little, I mean, it's only been like 2 years since they debuted, but there is a progression in terms of the color and the sounds that they do, and this is a great. Maybe it's not the ending, and I appreciate that, but at the same time, it's definitely a progression. I dig that. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing how they can change. They're not doing the same shit over and over and over again. They're doing that space thing, but they're sad about it.
This is mature space now.
This is sad space.
Yeah.
Bad space.
Yeah, sad. Goodbye space.
Yeah, we need to get this song to go viral, guys, because Kep1er, it's like, honestly, for a post-produced / boys planet girls planet group, they haven't had the best trajectory. Like, it hasn't been too popping off. I think this song is really good though. And it makes me very hopeful because I was kind of worried. I was like, it's probably the right time to end this. Honestly, that was kind of my feeling. But now that we got this song, we got some renewal news. I know it's sad that 2 of them are leaving. It is what it is, though. Their company has every right to that. I'm excited about Kep1er now, more than I've been in years.
That's good.
That's a great thing.
Good thing.
I might start watching Kep1er behind the scenes footage again.
Oh wow.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, this was
back.
This was so good. Zhao Ting was really stand out. Like, to be honest, they gave her all of like the really notable parts, which I thought was great. And honestly, she's good enough to carry the weight of those roles. To be fair. And then is her name Dayoung, right?
Taeyeon.
Right.
Taeyeon.
I was close. That's how long it's been since I paid attention to the script a lot. Her rap section, honestly, I thought was fine for this type of song. Kind of fit. High energy here, randomly. How do we think? We think this. Hopefully, this pops off. It's doing well. It has 4 million views in 15 hours.
Yeah, no, I feel like the news, right, of re-signing, and unfortunately it was not all of them, right, but like there will be more, I think kind of has maybe hopefully brought new, like, maybe captured back the people kind of like as Doug, who had kind of given up of like, this might be the end.
I not give up, but I thought, the group as a post-competition show group ran the course,
Right. I feel like this feels, like maybe we're gonna pick up speed for more.
Oh, yeah. I'm rejuvenated about this group.
Right. Well, the first day sales, in terms of the first week sales are out.
Hit me with them.
Are you sure?
Is it not good?
It's not amazing is all.
Shit.
But we're starting.
We're starting. This song's gonna go viral and people are gonna buy the song, buy the CD. Hopefully.
I hope it at least charts well, That's
Oh my god, it's 46 kids.
I didn't mention it. I didn't mention it for a reason.
It's half of the last release, Anita. Shit.
That's okay.
I think there's still room. Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, I do appreciate that this is a full-length album. Not easy to make those these days. 30 minutes of songs, crazy, I'll probably check it out when I get the time. But with the title track, Shooting Star, it's spicy.
It's a spicy track for sure.
High tingly, but I'm going to like it.
Okay, Anita. Okay.
Anita G.
Okay. Other releases this week include EXO Chen with Empty, J Park Taxi Blur featuring Kiss of Life Nati. Kind of fun there. Treasure King Kong, Waterfire. It's a group they had a debut with Possible. Pink vs. Call Devil, RM Domadachi featuring Lil Sims, which is a B-side. Ace released Supernatural. EXO Suo released 1 to 3. Bad Villains debut with Bad Villain. They're kind of just copying the YG formula, to be honest.
Oh no!
To me.
Don't copy that formula, guys.
We had Akmu with Hero, Wavy, Give Me That. There's a Korean version, and then Extraordinary Heroes Boy Comics. All right. Vice King last week. New Jeans House Suite picked up its first crown. Second and third place were both aespa songs, with Supernova in second, Armageddon in third. The new candidates are the 4 songs we covered this week: Yves, Loop featuring Lil Cherry, ARTMS Virtual Angel, ATEEZ Work, Kep1er Shooting Star. You gotta put Kep1er Shooting Star in first place this week.
Oh wow.
Dang.
Oh wow.
Okay.
For me, who's more of a K-pop purist, this is a very traditional K-pop sounding song.
I see that.
To a T.
Yeah, I agree.
This hits all the type of things that I like, honestly. Second place might be a surprise. It is not New Jeans House Suite. It is not aespa Supernova. It's aespa Armageddon.
Oh.
It was not on my chart last week. It is in second place this week.
Wow. Okay.
I've listened to this song so many times this past week. They've been at all the college festivals. I've been watching it all over the place. Second place.
Nice.
Third place, I will put New Jeans House Suite. It's a fine song, but it is the type of thing that I said last week where, like, after a while, it's just gonna kind of be there, and it's good, but it's not the most captivating of their tracks ever for me. So that's my chart.
That's fair. That's all right because I have New Jeans in the first place spot. How Sweet. I've been listening to that quite a bit. Also have been looking at the college festival fan cams. I just find it really cool that like the song itself is quite chill, but the fan chants go hard.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
I love some New Jeans.
Yeah, choreo's great. I'm enjoying it. So it's in first place still for me. Second place, I'm gonna give it to Yves. Loop featuring Lil Cherry. I really liked this sound. I thought it was a very interesting debut. Maybe not the most impactful, but I'm interested to see what she wants to do after this because this was an interesting route to begin with. So I'm putting it in second. Third place, I have ARTMS, Virtual Angel.
Wow.
I thought I was liking the more alternative, maybe not super conventional vibes for some of these songs. And the visuals as well. I thought, not a great idea to have that sort of visual hazard music video, but the concept is cool.
Hazard. That's like the type of words I was using during my risk assessment certificate in grad school.
It is a bit of a risk assessment needed there, but glad they put out a more safe video for people with just easier to actually comprehend. It's a cool music video, and it's a pretty nice song too. The vocals are really, really good. Interested to see where they go as well as a full unit, ARTMS. So that's the list for me.
You gotta put How Sweet on first. It's a banger.
Nice.
The more I listen to it, the more I like it. I understand why people say it's a background song, and I also definitely think it's doing a lot less to make an it moment compared to the other New Jeans tracks that have popped off in the past, such as Super Shy or ETA or Ditto or Attention or Hype Boy. But that just makes it that much more ethereal. I'm using the words that I learned today. That's right. I think that makes it great. Very listenable. The more I like it. Sorry. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. That gives me Loop on second place. I agree with Anita.
No.
Also a banger. Why the no? It's a great song. It's clean.
No, I'm mathing right now.
It's an aesthetic. No. It's a great song.
Okay.
Lil Cherry popping off. Go do your thing. I would like to see more of this, and I'm very interested to see where this goes. Great first statement from Yves. That leaves me with either Shooting Star or Virtual Angel, because I like both of those songs. I think aesthetic-wise, they're both very similar in terms of the sound. And I was really having trouble picking one, but it comes down to two things. One, that shouting voice thing with the choruses.
Yes.
And the lack of a epilepsy-inducing music video puts Shooting Star on third. I mean, Virtual Angel is great too. I like the song. I'm definitely gonna be listening to it a lot. It's just, I would not. Yeah. I like my eyes. I like seeing.
I like my eyes.
I like seeing things a lot. So there you go.
SojuTalk Nation and the Gochu Gang voted. Third place, they had New Jeans How Sweet with 53 points.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Second place, Espa Supernova with 73.
Nice.
Supernova.
Soup,
and
Supernova.
Then in
Nova.
Wait 1 second.
Bring me the light of dying star.
Okay, and in first place they had Kep1er Shooting Star with 87.
Oh wow.
Nice.
So they had New Jeans third, Supernova second, Kep1er first. As a result, Warren decided the chart this week. In third place, Yves with what's the song title? Lil Cherry. So Warren's vote affected that. Second place, we got Kep1er with 11 points. Shooting Star. And in first place with 12 is New Jeans How Sweet picking up the second crown. Warren's vote was like critical in all of that. Holy crap.
I am the kingmaker.
Hey, that means House Sweet is eligible for Hall of Spice next week,
Ooh,
by the way.
shit.
Yeah, bet.
Just,
We will get it there.
just pointing that out. All right. Finally, we're at show winners. Hit us with them.
Yeah, starting off with aespa Supernova won an AMP Countdown Show Music Core. Total of 5 wins with this one. Very, very popular. And then we have Zero Base One with Feel the Pop. They won on the show, so giving them 4 wins so far with this comeback. And then finally, New Jeans with House Sweet. They won in Show Champion and Music Bank, so 2 wins so far for them.
Yeah,
Congrats.
there was no Inkigayo this week, surprisingly. But that was the show.
Interesting.
All right, that ends part 1. SojuTalk episode 284. We'll be back after a short break. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, SojuTalk Nation. This is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk Kpop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
All right, we are back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 284. We're going to talk about some news and events from the past week. So the first part is going to be regular news, and then the second part will be the Hybe versus Min Heejin stuff. But the first one is Hybe related, though.
Okay.
Hybe sells a portion of its stake in SM Entertainment worth about $50 million, or about 3% of the company.
Oh.
Hybe still owns 2.2 million shares for a 9.4% stake in SM. So people saw this and was like, what's going on? They were nervous. They're trying to figure out, is this a bad thing? Is SM not healthy? Turns out people did some digging.
Oh no.
It is said that the major shareholders stake sale notice system is a system that requires major shareholders holding more than 10% of the company to disclose what they're going to do with the shares in advance. So Hybe sold an amount, so they're under the 10%, so they can do whatever they want without alerting people. So it turns out that this was just a business decision.
I see.
Because if you're over 10% and you want to sell shares or do something else, everyone has to know. But if you're under 10, no one has to know. So they sold enough so that they're under 10%.
Oh man, they're really good at this public communication thing.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Okay. So they're making these business moves, which is honestly their right to do that.
That's fine.
Right.
Not
it's
the
not
end of the
illegal.
world.
So they did that. And then this is more of a like, why are they selling shit part, right? This is the negative part where YG Plus sold all of its shares in Tencent Music for 4.6 billion won, so it was about $5 million. YG Plus said that the sale was to secure return on its investment and strengthen its financial health. If YG Plus is really like harping over $5 million for financial health, I don't think that's a good sign, right? If that $5 million for a company that size is to strengthen financial health, that seems more like a scenario to me.
I mean, if you're, weak and if you're getting rid of your weaknesses, that is strengthening it. So maybe
that seems like a small amount, to be honest. I don't know. They're selling off other parts of YG reportedly as well. So I really don't know what's going on there. So that was the sales news. Next one. So this was the Kep1er stuff, right? Wake One Entertainment announced that Kep1er will renew their contracts and extend group promotions as a 7-member group. Mashiro and Yesol will conclude their activities in Kep1er after the scheduled upcoming concert, and they are set to join Limelight, which is a current girl group that has 3 members. This doesn't state if they're going to be like a permanent group like From Mrs. or anything like that. We just know that they've extended. And I think that a lot of these companies are starting to get privy to the fact that, we might make more money if our kid is in the group than pull them out and make our own group. It seems like it's taken a while to get to this point, but that's where we are.
You've learned to not kill the goose that lays golden eggs.
Yes. Hey, best of luck to Mashiro and Yeso, and best of luck to
Yeah.
Kep1er as a whole because they released that really good really good song.
It was a star, all right.
Shooting star, yes.
Shooting Star, yes. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see, what is this one? Okay, so NMIX performed at Shinhan University, right? It's one of the festivals that are going on. If you look at K-pop on YouTube, you've seen all the festival performances. In this performance, the audio cut and they sang the rest of the song a cappella.
I saw that.
And they were really good at it. It was amazing,
It was
right?
a great performance.
But their company, so apparently at JYP, they're run by a group called Squad, which is under JYP. So their in-house people management said, we planned the sound system issue, but we didn't tell them.
Oh?
So
Why would you stress them out?
They apparently set it up for the music to cut, but they didn't tell NMIX.
That's not great management.
So they were looking for a viral moment, which they kind of got, but it probably put random stress that didn't need to happen on them.
So stressful. If you get if you got some sort of malfunction or issue as a live performer, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, I understand why they're going for it. I understand why they're doing it, especially because NMIX is a group that they can definitely prove themselves.
Yeah, they can do it.
But we already know that.
But what if the kids were like, they'll just restart the music, guys. We'll start from the top. What if they had stopped? You know, like, what are you gonna do then? I'm sure they were told them. I'm sure the company didn't tell them, but was like, if you have any problems, just keep going. Wink, wink. Right? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
This just feels like
crazy.
a terrible look, right? It feels real shitty.
Not something that is proudly admitted, I don't think, but
Yeah, why? Okay, let's say this is a great idea, just for the sake of this conversation. Great marketing tactic, whatever the fuck. Then why are you telling us this?
yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Like, why? How many people were angry at Shinhan University? Like, is that the case?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
It actually might be what it is. Maybe people are shitting on Shinhan University student council or some shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well,
that's that. Okay, let's keep going. So this was a funny one. Subin from Cosmic Girls revealed that her father is a director at SMCNC. He's a former manager of Kangwodong and is a former Shirum or Korean wrestling athlete.
Oh, wow.
So she was on a variety show, which you go with your dad to somewhere, and basically they exposed that she's rich. They showed like their vacation house and stuff, and like people were like, "Holy shit, she's rich." Their vacation home was ridiculous. The house they showed,
it makes sense.
Interesting.
and people
father's a
were like, "Man, it feels like she could have just had an easier career if she was at SM than to do this Soju stuff." Is what people were also commenting. But yeah.
Wait, guys, if you watch New Journey to the West season 2, you can see her dad.
Oh, he's there?
He's there in the first episode when he's like dropping off Kangwodong at the bus before they go start traveling. They look. You can tell.
They're big dude. He's a big dude, right? He's a big dude.
He's a big dude, and she looks like they look like father and daughter. Like this is man. But regardless, I mean, good on her.
Yeah, the vacation home was massive though that they live in.
Damn, I wish I had that much money.
Next one, Wakey Makey comeback, first time in 3 years.
Yo, what?
About time.
So the way this kind of happened was that there was like a poster they came out for some kind of music thing, right? And then one of the acts on the side was like Wakey Makey, and people were like, "What? Wakey Makey? I haven't heard that shit in like a bunch of years." And it turns out they confirmed they're coming back after 3 years. And I think that someone said that if they do indeed come back, this is the longest hiatus for a group that hasn't officially announced the hiatus to come back from.
Oh, I see.
Something like that.
I think that might be right. Because
That's
they.
crazy. 3 years.
Yeah. How long was Everglow's hiatus? Because that was a while.
It was not 3 years. It was
Oh
not-
man,
maybe
yeah,
like
you're right.
2?
It is only it was only 2 years.
Yeah, so people think this might be the record for a girl group, the longest time they've been gone without like notice that they're gone.
Is that a good record or a bad record? Like, do you want to be proud of the ability to come back, or do you want to be sad about the 3 years? Like,
yeah, there was this graphic from 1TheK, which is one of the Korean like K-pop channels, and then in the and more, it was Wakey Makey for like comeback lineups, and people were like, "Oh shit!" But yeah, they're coming back.
all right, well,
So it's gonna be a reintroduction for people, I guess. They debuted 2017. There's 8 members. They haven't been around for 3 years though, but now they're finally coming back.
Nice.
They had that one song that we absolutely loved. I forgot the name. Cool. Oh my god. Hey, yo, so y'all please go check out Wakey Makey Cool. It's an amazing track, guys.
dude, I can hear you.
Man, I played 1 second. Hopefully we don't get copyrighted. I was so excited about it.
Shut down the episode.
We're fine. We're fine. We
Copyright strike.
I played 1 second of it. We're fine. Let's keep going.
I'm sure you're fine.
G-Idol poster 2024 World Tour called Idol. It's beginning in Korea in August.
Nice.
So it should be a global tour from there.
Nice.
But sadly, though, for the moment, Soyeon taken a temporary hiatus due to health reasons.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what that means for all the tours and stuff they got planned. Hopefully it's not too long. But
Hope
best of
she
luck to Soyeon.
feels better soon.
And then finally, Dreamcatcher started to announce some parts of their tour: Luck Inside 7 Doors and Latin America, Mexico City, Sao Paulo, Santiago.
Nice.
Wait.
Ooh.
Oh, look.
Yeah, they're going there.
Look at
So that
the
should
row
be
window.
pretty exciting.
Wand.
Fantasy poster.
Wait, that's their light stick. It's the one that's
I
the
know.
big scepter.
Scepter.
Yeah.
The scepter stick.
So that is that news. I could switch my screen. It'll take like 1 second, Warren. Just let me do that real quick.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna send you links to my notes if you need, since you talked about doing that as well.
Wait, where's my stuff? Oh no. Maybe it's not 1 second. I found it. We back.
Oh, Doug's
Okay.
back. Okay.
I'm back. I found it. I found the stuff.
All right. How you doing?
We are now at the Min Heejin Hybe Civil War news section, guys. It's been dragging. We got a little bit of
Updates.
stuff this week. There was a court ruling. We're gonna go through all of this.
The party
Okay.
that never ends.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna give you the news up until her press conference, and then Warren's gonna give some more big picture stuff, talk about the press conference, yada yada yada. So, big picture court decision right here. The Seoul Central District Court approved the injunction filed by Min Heejin aimed at preventing Hybe, the label's partner company, from using its voting rights in an upcoming shareholders meeting on Friday. So basically, they said, "Hey, Min Heejin's not going to be fired because Hybe is not allowed to vote in the upcoming shareholders meeting," which is a injunction that Min Heejin herself filed. That was the big news that broke. Everyone's like, "Oh shit!"
Right.
Oh shit.
Seems like Min Heejin won. So let's keep going. Next one. The injunction was filed to prevent Min Heejin's termination, and the ruling does not cover her close associates. So Min Heejin
Right.
says that the termination of her 2 close associates is contrary to Hybe's position, saying that they will record the court's ruling. From what I understood, at the end, more or less, they stepped down from their board positions. They're still hired by Adore, but they're not on the board anymore.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
They're still working for Hybe according to the Adore press conference.
So they're just not on the board of directors anymore
Yes.
at Adore.
Yes. Sorry, they're working
So
for
they
Adore, not Hybe. But yeah.
Yeah, so basically they said, "Hey, you won't get fired, but you have to get off the board." And they were probably like, "All right, at least I get to save my job here," right? So that's what happened there. Okay, now we're going to go through a big translation of a lot of the court decision stuff. So we're in the weeds now, guys.
Boy,
Let's
all
go
right.
through this. The Seoul Central District Court Civil Agreement Division 50 states, quote, "Hybe should not exercise voting rights in favor of the dismissal of Inside Director Min Heejin at Adore's temporary general shareholders meeting." And they ordered that, quote, "in case of violation, if Hybe does try to screw her, fire her or something, they're going to have to make a payment of 20 billion won
To her.
to her.
To her.
So if Hybe votes or removes her at the shareholders meeting, they'll have to give Min Heejin $20 million.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
from my perspective, do you just bite the bullet, get this done, just pay her 20 million?
I think we have that money, but
Honestly, I bet you someone in their meeting suggested, can we just fire her and give her 20 million bucks?
yeah. I bet that's an option.
Okay, let's go through it more. So we're gonna go through all the different things they addressed. Firstly, the court addressed Hybe's claim of Min Heejin's breach of duty and other reasons for dismissal, stating, quote, based solely on arguments and materials submitted by Hybe, it is difficult to conclude that there are sufficient grounds for Min Heejin's dismissal. That's like the crux of all of this, right?
Oh.
The court basically said, based on everything Hybe has said and their materials, there is not enough evidence to remove Min Heejin. That's basically what the court said. Moreover, quote, it is clear that since late 2023, Min Heejin expressed dissatisfaction with the contents of the shareholders' agreement and demanded modifications. Along with Vice President A, she sought ways to weaken Hybe's control over Adore by selling Adore-issued shares held by Hybe and making Adore independent. However, based on materials submitted so far, there is no evidence that Min Heejin went beyond the planning stage to actualize these plans, nor that her actions caused damage to Adore, the court added. That's the crux of all of this, right?
Right.
Basically, the court said Min Heejin and Vice President A did seek ways to weaken Hybe's control over Adore. They talked to people about selling Adore to them and making Adore independent. They said, yes, that did definitely happen. But based on what the evidence, there's no evidence that Min Heejin went beyond just talking about it to people. She did not actually do it, nor her action caused any damage to Adore. And if you remembered, this whole breach of trust thing was based on, did Min Heejin cause irreparable damage to Adore? Was the crux of this whole case. And the court said that she did not cause any damage to Adore. She was acting on what she thought was to the benefit for Adore.
Oh, and to kind of add a little bit of context to that, this is explained in the 1 hour explanation video we did a while back. Min Heejin, so there's two things here. One, Min Heejin is working for Adore. She doesn't work for Hybe, technically speaking. Legally, she's not tied to Hybe. So what the court here is saying, since she is working in favor, she is working towards the benefit of Adore. It's not breach of trust because she's working in the best, she's working for the best of Adore, The other part of this is where you go back to, is it attempted or is it fully executed? There is no law in Korea regarding the attempted breach of trust or conspiracy for breach of trust. There is only punishment for executed.
If you actually did it.
If you actually did it, yes. So that's where this goes back to.
Yeah, so to sum up, was there a breach of trust? No, is what the court said, because the breach of trust was, did Min Heejin do anything bad to Adore? Technically, she didn't, so that got thrown out, right? And then they're like, did Min Heejin actually do anything bad? They're like, she planned to, but didn't actually do it, is what the court ruled, more or less. In essence, the court added, while Hybe's accused Min Heejin of betrayal, the court found that Hybe's actions also had an element of betrayal towards Min Heejin, and that Hybe initiated these issues first.
Oh, shit.
Shit. That's crazy. Shit. So they're gonna go into that now. Okay. The first thing they're gonna address is the Min Heejin eyelid plagiarism shit, right? The first thing.
Damn.
The court noted, quote, there were public opinions suggesting that eyelid's concept, choreography, and costumes were similar to those of New Jeans around eyelid's debut. Fair. The court also stated, given that Min Heejin, as Adore's CEO, had a duty to protect New Jeans' core value, the court did not find her actions in raising issues about eyelid's plagiarism to constitute a breach of duty to Adore. So what that means is that saying Min Heejin was allowed to say all that shit about eyelid because all that stuff was to the benefit of Adore and wasn't hurting Adore as a company.
Interesting.
So this whole breach of trust thing, as we said, it all revolves around, did Min Heejin do anything to hurt Adore? Is more or less what they're ruling on. They said, nope, she was concerned about New Jeans. She said that this eyelid group copied them. She was acting in the best interest of New Jeans and Adore, so she did nothing wrong, is what the court stated.
So to add a little bit of context there as well, I did read into the full ruling. You can purchase it for $1 if you're a Korean citizen. I have the copy of the full ruling. I was reading it. And I was reading some analysis done by lawyers online as well. And they were saying that there was another paragraph about how the parents raised this issue as well. So a lot of this does go back to, well, you know, it wasn't Min Heejin that was raising these issues. It came from the I don't want to say assets or properties, but the artists under this company, they were concerned with it, so she was trying to protect them, and then that's, you know, this is where.
And because she's trying to protect Nugent, she's doing what she's supposed to do to protect the door. So therefore, she did nothing wrong. Right. That's more or less what it is. In summary, Min Heejin's claims of Eyelid plagiarized Nugent's, discrimination against Nugent, and issues with album being delayed were deemed legitimate by the court, which also found evidence supporting these claims. Conversely, Hybe's claim that Min Heejin influenced Nugent's members' parents to raise plagiarism issues lacked sufficient evidence. So the court basically said all the things Min Heejin said, like Eyelid plagiarizing Nugent's, that Hybe didn't like discriminated against Nugent's, and that Hybe delayed their album by pushing it back, all were found to be legitimate points that she was making. Also, they said that they said Hybe's claim that Min Heejin basically told the Nugent's parents to raise these plagiarism stuff were false. That it was the parents that did it by themselves.
I want to be really careful with the wording there, because if you go into how other people have analyzed and interpreted the ruling, it quote unquote says that there may be enough evidence to support those three things: the plagiarism of Nugent, discrimination against Nugent, and the album push marketing. So this leaves us in a weird spot, because there might be evidence towards it, but there also might not be any evidence towards it. They're just leaving the door open. It's according to another lawyer that I found on Understanding, which is a YouTube channel. They were saying that the fact that they left it open like that probably means they found evidence towards it, but they didn't look too deep into it, because that's not the core issue that we have here. The issue is that those issues were raised, and you know, Min Heejin was doing her job of raising those concerns.
Complaints.
Yeah, so one of the lawyers stated the court viewed Min Heejin's raising of the Eyelid plagiarism issue as part of her duty to protect the core value of Nugent's, rather than a reason for dismissal. So they're saying not only is this not a reason to dismiss her, it's her duty to protect Nugent, so that's why she was allowed to bring it up. All right, next thing. The court stated, quote, considering that the issue of discrimination against Nugent and album pushbacks by Hybe are not entirely groundless, it is difficult to conclude that Min Heejin intentionally caused damage to Adore or Hybe. So that's exactly what Warren was saying there, where there's not enough evidence in either direction, so it doesn't seem like they can get her on anything. All right, next one. So this is in terms of the Kakao talks. The court found, quote, it is difficult to determine that the information Hybe claims Min Heejin leaked via the Kakao conversations, etc., constitutes Adore trade secrets, and there is no evidence that such information caused specific financial damage to Adore. So, when they're saying, you know, Min Heejin was talking to outside investors and other people about this whole situation, they said the stuff she told them isn't considered big enough to get her on, and there's no evidence that anything she said caused any issues for Adore.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Thus, the court did not accept Hybe's claim regarding the leakage of Adore trade secrets, because you know how Hybe was saying she was leaking stuff to other people. They said even if, and the court more or less said, yeah, she was talking to them about this issue, but it was nothing big enough to cause any financial damage to Adore, which is the crux of this whole breach of trust thing. One attorney noted, quote, the court did not consider the leaked Kakao conversations as significant business secrets, contrary to Hybe's assertion, and viewed them as just private matters. So she was just shooting the shit with her friends, and what she was saying was not big enough to be considered business secrets. I think that's fairly straightforward what they meant there.
Okay.
The next one I want to do, the lawyer also stated, quote, the provisional injunction prevents Hybe from exercising its voting rights on the dismissal of Min Heejin at the shareholders meeting, indicating a lack of sufficient evidence to recognize breach of trust or violation of the shareholders agreement. So, okay, this really comes down to Min Heejin's shareholder agreement with Hybe, right? Is what really is at play here. I have another article that talks about what that shareholder agreement states, right?
Oh shit, okay.
Representative Min's side argued that the exercise of Hybe's voting rights, so Hybe being allowed to vote, should be blocked based on the shareholders agreement signed with Hybe. According to this shareholders agreement, also known as a contract, it's a contract, Min Heejin will be represented, or Hybe will be represented by Min Heejin for 5 years, starting from November 2nd, 2021, so November 2021 to November 2026, unless Min Heejin, quote, conducts an act that violates the Articles of Incorporation or laws, commits an act that the grounds for dismissal as a director under the Commercial Act, or the contract is terminated. So, basically, Min Heejin has to either conduct an act that violates the laws or Articles of Incorporation. She has to commit an act that is the grounds for dismissal under the director. Oh, wait. Let me.
If she commits a crime, they get to kick her out.
Yeah. So basically, they're saying that because Min Heejin did not do any of these crimes, Hybe can't remove her. More or less, is what the court ruled. Based on their shareholders agreement. So she has a 5-year contract. She hasn't broken any laws. Therefore, Hybe can't vote at this shareholders meeting.
Because they would kick her out if they voted.
Because they would kick her out if they're allowed to vote.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know where in this article, and I'm sure I've read the Korean version of this article, but there was also another line in the shareholder agreement about Hybe needs to act in favor of helping Min Heejin keep her job, unless she does the things you just listed there, which is what's kind of preventing her. Which is why the court is like, okay, you said you would help her keep her job unless these things happen.
So here, I got a little bit of that, and probably not directly what you're talking about, but it says, in order to maintain your position, so in order for Min Heejin to retain her job, she must be allowed to vote at the general shareholders meeting.
Right.
In other words, the argument according to Min Heejin and Hybe contract, Hybe has the right to allow Min Heejin to maintain her position as CEO. So basically, their contract states that Min Heejin, in order to maintain her position as CEO, has to be allowed to vote at her own thing, which means she's not going to vote to fire herself. So Hybe is in this weird position where they want to be able to vote to remove Min Heejin as CEO, but they have to let Min Heejin stay as CEO, and if she's the CEO, she's allowed to vote to not remove herself. So they're in this weird circle that they can't get out of. That's the whole problem here.
Now, if you guys remember closely, there is a police investigation going on right now for a breach of trust, right? That's also going on in the background at this moment. If that comes out and the police goes, yeah, she did commit, a breach of trust crime, then they can use that as evidence to get rid of her, because that would fall under one of the things that they can get rid of her for. But we'll have to wait for that. That hasn't happened yet.
And the court basically said, yeah, Hybe has a right as a majority shareholder to vote if they broke any of the contract, but because she didn't break any of the contract, that contract takes precedent, and via that contract, she's allowed to do the voting by herself, so she's not going to fire herself.
Right.
That's this is the real technical BS part, but basically the court just says, yeah, Hybe can't vote because Min Heejin is allowed to stay as CEO, and if she remains as CEO, she's not going to fire herself. That's more or less what happened. I know it's very confusing, but that's the easiest way to state it. Anita, you're someone who hasn't read through all this. Does that make sense to you?
No, I think that clarifies some things as far as the relationship between Min Heejin and Hybe as, I guess, quote unquote, legally, like employee to employer. Because I think the way that Hybe was presenting the issue, it felt more like Min Heejin had more of a responsibility to Hybe, or to respond to Hybe in a certain way. But that seems that's not the case. Based on the court ruling, it's very much a door. Like, it's all within the context of a door, right? So if nothing was done to damage a door, there's no concrete reason in the court's view to have her fired.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna simplify this to as much as I can, right? Basically, Min Heejin at a door is representing Hybe, right? What Min Heejin does is acting in the benefit of Hybe because they're the majority shareholder, right? At these board meetings. What Min Heejin says is what Hybe's saying, more or less is what they're saying. Hybe is like, hey, this lady broke trust here, breach of trust. We need to be able to vote to kick her out, right? The government ruled, or the court more or less ruled, hey, she didn't do anything wrong, so why are you trying to vote? You can't vote then. She gets to maintain her power, and what she says is basically in your favor, so you can't do anything. I don't know, it's kind of convoluted, but at the same time, basically, she didn't break any laws, therefore she gets to keep her job, therefore she's not gonna fire herself. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I think that's the simplest way to put it.
I think the kicker comes down to the fact that Min Heejin, because she doesn't work for Hybe, legally speaking,
Right.
like she does represent Hybe, but she doesn't work for Hybe. She's not hired by Hybe. All her legal relationships are to a door. And because in this situation, she was, Hybe was basically saying the stuff she's doing is, harming a door. And other points, they were saying she was harming Hybe. The court said, well, I mean, she can't, how is she going to harm Hybe from the inside? That's not breach of, you can't really harm Hybe from the inside when you're not inside Hybe. That's
key there.
Yeah.
So basically, Hybe's job was to prove that she was hurting a door, but they couldn't prove it, so she gets to keep her job. Yeah,
Which, I mean,
that's really what it is.
I think that goes back to what we were all talking about in the beginning. Like, how can you commit breach of trust when you run the fucking thing? You know what I mean? Like, you roll up to yourself.
She could just claim, I was just doing it for the betterment of New Jeans and Adore. She could just say anything she did was for that. Right? You know what I mean?
Right. Like,
that's why it's really tough to get her on this.
She rolls up to herself. She doesn't roll up to Hybe on this. That's the fucking issue.
The only way Hybe or the court could get her on this, if she was like telling people in DMs, I'm doing this to sink the company. Right? That's the only way I think they really could have gotten her on any of this. If she was like, we're gonna, every time New Jeans performs, we're gonna make them all fall down so the shares go down. Something like that. Then that's financially hurting the company and they could get her on something. But if she just says, everything I'm doing is just for New Jeans and for Adore, what are they gonna get her on? Right? That's really what this comes down to. I don't know. And then, so that was pretty much the ruling. The court acknowledged substantial grounds for Min Heejin's allegations of Violet's plagiarism, discrimination against New Jeans, and the resistance to release albums suggests that Hybe will need to revise its future strategy for this situation. So the court basically said, like, she was kind of right in what she was saying. Y'all need to get a new strategy. Min Heejin then had a press conference, which we're going to talk about later. Hybe did hold the general shareholders meeting where they got rid of her friends from the board and they appointed new directors. So they're basically like, well, the most we can do is get rid of your friends and then put people who are pro Hybe as new directors. So that's the extent of what they could do. After this decision, Hybe stated, quote, since the court explicitly mentioned Min Heejin's attempts to independently control Adore, we will proceed with subsequent procedures within legal framework. So basically they're saying is, the court did say she was trying to do some planning to go against us. We're going to explore that option, more or less.
It's not over yet.
Not over yet then. So we have that article's done, finally. This one we mentioned her contract where she's a 5-year CEO and she's not going to vote to fire herself. That makes sense. So I found this one of these pages has been covering this story in full, more or less. So people, they said they got a lot of DMs about what happens next. So here's kind of what people think is going to happen next. So they're going to have that board meeting. They discussed getting rid of the board, which they ended up doing. They're installing new people that are pro Hybe. They did do that. Additionally, they said Hybe, this says here that Hybe will likely appeal. People don't really know how likely that is, but Hybe has the option to appeal this decision. Additionally, since Min Heejin's contract is still valid, she can exercise some of her stock options in November, and of course the contract still remains that she cannot exercise the remaining options without Hybe approval, so they still got to work through that bullshit. We talked about that earlier in the month where they're like, yeah, she can't sell all of her shares without Hybe agreeing to, and how is Hybe gonna want to do that now for her, considering they kind of hate each other?
They gotta figure out the original shareholder agreement issue where she claimed it as a slave contract. That's
Yeah, they got to work through that still. Additionally, there is still a criminal complaint for breach of outstanding that is currently being investigated. So there is a more or less the Korean. There's a criminal complaint still about this issue. Warren, what are you gonna say?
No, I'm counting.
Oh, you're counting?
Yeah.
And then B-Lift Lab also has a criminal complaint about Min Heejin still because she was talking shit about Islet. So they have to explore that as well.
Defamation.
But at the end of the day, the main crux of all you have to know is that for now, Min Heejin remains as CEO of Adore.
She gets to keep her job for now.
Bro, Korean law is like, there's so many redundancies, right? Like, it's like, I want to vote here. No, you can't vote here because she gets to do this. And no, if she can't do that, that means you can't do this, right?
I don't think this is about the Korean law, because a lot of the folks in the Korean legal side of things were saying how irregular, unusual this contract is from the perspective of like who gets to vote or not. So I wouldn't generalize the Korean law on this one.
Yeah, for me, the weirdest hang up that I've had for the whole time, I even mentioned this earlier, like a couple episodes ago, until Warren told me, it's like, Hybe owns the majority of this company, yet they can't get rid of her, is insanity to me. You know what I mean?
The way it's been explained to me is it comes down to two things. The way they set up the board, it should have been majority Hybe folks to begin with, and then the other part of it is the issue with you can't really get rid of Min Heejin because she doesn't work for Hybe. That also should have been the other safety tag.
It's weird because she doesn't work for Hybe, where she's not under Hybe, but she speaks for Hybe at these shareholders meetings, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Let's go back
so
to
that's that.
Let's go back to Hybe is likely to appeal, because I was reading into a lot of what the lawyers were saying online. I mostly looked at understanding and at Go Lawyer, also known as 진격의 고변호사. And these two folks were saying that it's probably not likely Hybe is going to appeal unless they have a big piece of evidence that they have not revealed yet. Partially because the ruling itself is pretty long. For a simple matter, this is relatively simple matter. It's 20 pages, and they went through the effort of making rebuttals against a lot of the claims that came out of Hybe, individually addressing some of the stuff that came out of Min Heejin's mouth as well. One of the lawyers at Understanding was saying, basically, the judge put a lot of effort into writing the explanation section, partially because the general public is paying a lot of attention to this and they want to know what's going on, and partially because it is they think that it's very likely that Hybe is going to appeal, and because they don't want to shift things over, whiplash everything, they went through and explained their reasoning as detailed as possible so that it's not easy for the next level of court to overturn the results. Given all of that, that's where they think, unless they have a huge piece of evidence that they're waiting to show for some reason,
which they probably would have already shown if they had it,
right?
Likely, yeah.
They're saying that it's kind of unlikely for Hybe to pursue further legal action, unless there's also the criminal complaint. So we'll have to see what goes there. But that's what I heard folks say. I've also heard a lot of people say, can't the board fire Hybe? Fire Min Heejin, right? Because if you think about it, the board is now 4 people. 3 people work for Hybe, and Min Heejin works for Min Heejin.
That's a good question. That is a good question. Yeah.
Legally speaking, Min Heejin could have been fired by majority vote in the board of directors. Now, however, what I also saw was during the press conference, which we'll get into a second. Min Heejin and the Sejong law firm attorneys were saying that might still happen. If that happens, they'll have to pursue further legal action. They are not completely safe from keeping their jobs. Another attorney I read online, which actually is also Understanding, basically said the dispute, if that happens again, where the board of directors tries to fire Min Heejin, they would have to let her know in advance, because that, they have to, let her know what the agenda is. And then if that happens, Min Heejin will probably fall for an injunction like she did with this one.
She's going to file an injunction and says retaliation, more or less, or something like that, right?
Right. In this case, the dispute would, would revolve around whether the shareholders agreement effectiveness extends to the board of directors, because they do roll up to Hybe. Even if it does not, the fight would then focus on whether the dismissal is justified in the absence of legitimate grounds for dismissal. In which case they're saying, right, is firing Min Heejin breach of trust? Because because you're hurting the company by getting rid of her. You're hurting the company.
Oh my god!
By getting rid of the person.
Breach of trust is such bullshit. This whole thing.
So,
oh my god, you're right.
Unless there is valid reasons for dismissal, they're gonna have to think about that.
Because then Min Heejin's gonna sue them for breach of trust, saying you're breaching trust by getting rid of me because it hurts the door, right?
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's what a lawyer said is possible. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen.
Holy shit, I can see that happening though. Because you know what? I think she has a better case than Hybe does, right? If they did that.
At that point, yeah.
So far, yeah.
Because everything Min Heejin's done, at least she could claim, well, I was doing it for New Jeans, or I was doing it for Adore. If Hybe just goes, we're firing her, they're gonna be like, well, I think that's hurting the company, is it not? Right? Like, oh my god, that's crazy.
And that works because in this context, the court has agreed that what Min Heejin does is in favor of Adore.
Yes,
normally that wouldn't
rule
apply.
Here. There's a precedent now where the court basically said, yeah, what Min Heejin's doing is beneficial to Adore and to New Jeans. They've already said that in this case, so it would hold precedent in a future case.
Yeah, that's where I heard some people say that this actually backfired and they pulled the gun a little too early. They should just waited for
because
the
now
complaint.
It's in the court ruling that Min Heejin is positive towards Adore and New Jeans, so it's precedent. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
wow.
This is an issue for Hybe if they want to get rid of Min. Like,
and you know what? Like Min Heejin's I want a press conference and I want to try to amend the issues we're having. It kind of feels like Hybe has to, right? Like how else? What could they do?
Let's talk about the press conference. Good
Press conference.
Good pivot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
we have should I bring up this notion?
Oh sure, yeah. Okay, so she had a press conference after I streamed on Thursday. So that was on the 31st. It was a lot more calm. It was a lot more chill.
She dressed
different.
She dressed better, and people. She even talked about it too, right?
She said she hadn't slept and showered in 3 days, and that's why she was crazy.
Yeah.
I know people are saying she was, playing victim. I will let you interpret that as you wish. But hey, here are some key takeaways after I watched the press conference. I don't think I'm gonna capture everything because a lot of it was not as aggressive as the first press conference, but still very much ramblings and streams of consciousness. Like she would randomly break into oh, by the way, we're preparing a world tour for next year.
Yeah, she randomly said that
announcement.
Too.
Yeah. So New Jeans world tour. That's the TLDR.
Man, those tickets are gonna be so hard to get. Gonna be so hard.
I'm gonna try everything I can to get one. But anyways, all right. Here's my takeaways. Right, first, she is in her calm mode. She said, "quote unquote," she said, "I feel relieved to have cleared my name." She visibly looked a lot more calm. She was smiling a lot. She was laughing a lot more. She wasn't swearing as often. I don't think she did actually. So yeah, hey, there you go. Now, one of the topics that came up frequently online and at the press conference was the word betrayal. Because if you go back to the injunction ruling, there was, like Doug mentioned, a line that says her actions could be interpreted as betrayal towards Hybe. Now, according to her, she said what her actions was not betrayal. Quote unquote, she said, "We've achieved tremendous results together, so why call it betrayal? We are pursuing mutual interests, so how can that be considered betrayal?" Right? And I think that kind of leads into one of the next points she was trying to make, right? Because very early on, and this was clarified multiple times throughout the entire press conference, openly said she wants to make amends with Hybe. She says she wants to make up, and she says she wants to, from my perspective, I didn't start the fight, but she's reaching out, saying, "Hey, let's move on." She said, "quote unquote, I'm not interested in personal gain. We want to rise together with New Jeans. It is not a loss for anyone anymore. Since we've both been hurt, let's make it even and move on towards the next chapter for everybody's sake."
If I'm Hybe and I'm like, all right, we can't fire her, I would just let her do what she wants because she's clearly focused on making New Jeans make money, and just take my 80% of the money off the top. Let her do whatever she wants. I feel like at the end of the day, it's like, I get that she wins then, but at the end of the day, we're trying to make money, right? And the easiest way is to just let her cook and just take the money that she makes, right? It feels like that to me.
Now, as of June 2nd, a report came out saying that Hybe has not canceled their police complaint.
Shit, okay.
You're not ready to make amends.
Not ready to make amends.
Nope. I don't know what they're going to get out of this at this point. But we'll see. Maybe the police complaint will actually reveal more. So, now, another topic that came out was the album sale pushing. In Korean, this has been referred to as 앨범 밀어내기. It is not chart manipulation, to be quite specific. This came out multiple times throughout the situation. It is in reference to a marketing tactic in which a company purchases a bunch of their own albums in order to boost their album sales to a certain degree. In the previous press releases, Min Heejin accused Hybe of Hybe suggesting it to her, and claimed that she didn't do it. Hybe later came out and said it was just casual conversation. Don't take it seriously, homie. Now, one of the questions that came out during the Q&A of the press conference was asking whether this is common practice. Now, as a K-pop fan, overall, I'd say I'm kind of curious about this as well. She quote unquote said, "I can't definitively say that it is common practice because I simply do not know." She also added, "It was just a casual conversation I had while smoking. So if my KakaoTalk messages are more than just casual conversation, wouldn't this conversation be more than just casual talk as well?"
Okay.
So you see what she's kind of alluding to there.
Okay.
Yeah. She's like,
so she's saying if my conversations are more than just casual, then yours can't be either, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, just a reminder, I am just quoting people. I'm not saying Hybe is doing it. I'm not saying certain companies are doing it.
That's just what she's implying.
Yes.
She's like, if you're just saying me talking to my friends isn't just casual, then you talking to me about album pushing can't just be casual, right? Yeah. Okay, I see that.
And it is really interesting because the court ruling did say there might be evidence for it, so we'll see. Co-CEOs are another topic that came up, right?
Yeah, it must be awkward.
So there's no co-CEO yet. In fact, according to Sejong Law Firm and their interpretation of the shareholders agreement, which apparently this can be interpreted in several different ways. According to their interpretation, there can't be any co-directors. Lawyer Lee of Sejong Firm explained the concept of a co-director and individual directors are different under the law. Co-representative directors have limited representative powers as they must jointly approve decisions for a particular matter.
That's fair.
Individual directors, on the other hand, can independently exercise their representative director authority.
Ooh.
Does that make sense? So, co-directors, if there's two of them, whenever you're doing something crazy, you got to get both of their stamps. You got to go through both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
When you got individual directors, you just got to go through one of them.
Just do it.
Yeah. Now, in regards to this, Lawyer Lee said the legal aspects of individual directors must also be considered, but it is already stated in the articles of the corporation that Min Heejin is the representative director. Therefore, appointing another representative director would be considered a violation of the shareholders agreement when viewed in its entirety.
Okay, so she's saying, hey, my contract is as an individual representative. if you get a co-representative, then that's not what I signed up for, right? It's not in my contract.
Y'all can't do that, is what they're saying.
And I also heard that she said that she met with these new directors, and she said it was fine. It wasn't too awkward, is what she said, right, at the press conference.
Those are folks on the board.
Yeah, the new board. Oh yeah, not the
Yeah.
The new. She said I met the new board members. It was fine. Is what she said.
Yeah. The director here, the directors in this, the thing I just read out, is not director as in like board of directors. It's literally the CEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that board of directors. It must be awkward though, right?
Apparently they met. Like,
Min Heejin should just butter them up because then they'll be like, "Hey, she's not crazy." Huh. You know? Could you imagine she could flip some of them, right? And she's like,
I'm sure they know each other though
I don't
already.
know.
Like,
yeah, I'm sure they somewhat know each other.
yeah. All right. Another question that came up during the Q&A section of the press conference was regarding the other idols named during this situation. Right? We've had a couple. Now, in regards to that, she quote unquote said, "Everyone's been hurt. I am too a human. I don't want to target anybody or say anything hurtful."
That's some bullshit. After
Well, buddy.
I mean, between her and Hybe, they dragged all this shit up, right? Like about everyone and their mother. Even Espa was. I saw Winter was asked about other like people talking about them, and she was like lolling about it. She's like, I think she says something like, "It got more people to watch our music video, so it's what it is."
There you go.
They're the true winners.
Yeah.
Well, I will admit though, from her perspective, that kind of checks out because she first brought up Islet internally, and she brought them out publicly only because she thought she was being targeted within the company for asking for that audit. Whether that was the right move or not, I don't think so. But
and then she's also saying like more or less like, hey, don't you guys remember that Hybe was the one who brought up some of the other stuff that I might have said about other people at the company, but they're the ones who dragged it off, right? That's what. Too.
Yeah,
she's like, I may have talked some shit about Lil Cherry, maybe I said stuff about BTS, but I wasn't the one who publicly disclosed it. It was them. That's what she's saying, basically.
Another thing that came out was the Kakao talks. And I'm not gonna go into detail with this one because they literally threatened to sue anybody that is like bringing these up explicitly. So. However, what they did say during the press conference was that a lot of the Kakao talks were taken 3 years ago, and they were taken very much out of context. And apparently, that's all they had to say about that.
Yeah, there's like a couple batches of these Kakao talks now, and we don't know the validity of some of them. Like it's all over the place with them now.
Yeah. What I will say is they've all been examined by the court. And they've all agreed that it's not.
They dismissed all of them.
Dismissed all of them. So,
and you know, at this point, some of the ones that people are now bringing up randomly, some of them might be fake too. We don't really know, right?
Yeah.
Where all of them are coming from now.
Yeah.
At this point,
it's
tough.
All right, so I think that's the takeaways from the press conference round 2.
The summary. Min Heejin wants to be friends. I didn't betray anyone. I want to reconcile with Hybe. Album pushing, there might be something there. Co-CEOs, if they hire another co-CEO that's not on my contract, I might have to get a legal suit for that
another lawsuit.
In terms of naming other idols, everyone got hurt, everyone got brought up, but I wasn't the only one who brought everyone up. And the Kakao talks, they're old, don't believe them, take it out of context. That's her press conference, right?
That is her take.
Yep. And then to end it all up, the court ruling, Min Heejin never acted against Adore and New Jeans. Therefore, Hybe can't be the ones to fire her. She gets to keep her job, and she's not going to fire herself. Boom. Right? That's the summary.
That's the summary.
What a mess. And we're just the defamation's gonna be. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to examine every single thing she's ever said about Islet in her lifetime, more or less, right? It's all gonna come out, and then they're gonna have to bring up photo comparisons of like Chaewon in an outfit or another girl from and like Wonhee in an outfit and say, is this plagiarizing, right? Like they're gonna have to do shit like that, honestly. That's gonna be a mess. I don't know. But yeah, that's all the news. It's kind of confusing, but it is what it is. In terms of next week, Han Sung-woo, you remember we really liked that guy? Well, he's coming back.
Oh shit.
Ghost 9, One Pact, Infinite, Anita, apparently.
Infinite.
Signature and Everglow. Ooh.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Effort,
All right.
bro.
Warren, do we have enough time to do the World Cup thing, or what are we looking like?
What are we at? We're at 52 minutes with this news section. Oh my god.
And what was the last segment?
To be quite frank, give me a second. My folder takes a while to open up.
If we're over like 2 hours, we should probably push it to next week.
We are at 1 hour 40. Let's just do it next week. We'll
do it next week,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
A little
Okay.
teaser. Next
There's a
week.
teaser. We'll do the Doug Fashion World Cup next week. This stuff took too long. Yeah.
I think a lot of the folks. So we got a lot of folks who started listening and watching our stuff through the video because that went kind of viral
Yes.
for us.
The breakdown.
Yeah. I hope this was an effective breakdown. If you have further questions, you're welcome to comment or join the Discord for a conversation. I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, it's been a learning experience because at the beginning, I thought
Yeah.
I thought they were just going to say, "Oh, she acted against Hybe, she's screwed." But then I found out that's not what
More
they're looking
complicated.
for. They're just like, did she act against New Jeans and act against the door, which she claims she's the mother of? So how would she be acting against it, right? Like, I don't know. It just got weird at one point. It's confusing to say the least. But we're hopefully we don't have to do any more of these stupid breakdowns. Hopefully it's very straightforward going forward. But you never know. All right. Thank you, Warren, for putting in effort here. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, myself, for putting in effort over there. Thank you, Anita, for listening. And Anita's input is very valuable for me saying, do I sound like a crazy person now? Or can you understand what I'm trying to say about this? Because sometimes when we're talking about it and I'm reading these paragraphs, I'm like,
It's a lot.
I'm effing confused too. Sometimes as I'm reading it. But we tried our best. We'll move the Doug Fashion World Cup to next week, and we'll see you guys then. I'm very excited about this Everglow release. I wonder what it's gonna be like.
God, same.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And here's an extra special shout out to all of our Fiesta Patreons on patreon.com. Bagel, Charles, Cotton Ball, Ellie, Irv Tron, Gogu Mama, Honey Pools, Liam's Games and Toys, Luke Daniels, NJ Parks, South Texas Once, Siu Sumi. And thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. And special thanks to our Discord server mods, Jacob, K-Music Erday, Koala, Max, No Bias Nuda,